Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and I don't know what got into me. I've just been on a warlock streak as of recent. I've been playing mine quite a bit in my off time. And just like with demonology, I saw a clip of a Deathbolt Affliction warlock burst quite recently. Affliction warlocks in fact got buffed. Their dot damage in particular is what been buffed, some of the talents as well as the basic dots that they bring, which would also buff the damage of Deathbolt even more. While my warlock is not nearly as geared as the guy in the clip, I wanted to reverse engineer the build that they were running, try to figure out how they played it, and I think I have a pretty good idea. Except one problem: I'm a Necrolord, they're a Night Fae, but we still have a little bit extra Necrolord cheese on top of this burst to try to see if we can maybe get as close to a one-shot as we can from the clip. Since I'm Necrolord and I do have access to the Necrolord legendary, Decimating Bolt will increase the damage of my crit and make it 100% crit of my Shadowbolt. Shadowbolt has a conduit attached to it for warlocks with Withering Bolt. Shadowbolt deals 16% increased damage per damage over time effect you have on an active target. Together with the talent of Nightfall, I am going to have like a pseudo Deathbolt burst on the side. There will be a 100% crit chance, as long as I don't die, because as a warlock I feel really squishy. But in the opener, what we want to do is build up for a bit of damage. We want to have a bunch of different buffs overlapping together while also maintaining our pressure with the the dots, but also basically trying to fish for procs. We're trying to get soul shards, so getting agonies on everybody and their mother is going to be very important. Oh, he used the new Mystery Monk. What is that? Immunity to spell abilities when you press your the big button. What is it called? Revive? So we're getting a bit of dots. Everybody on the enemy team is dying, which is not good. Not what we want to see. Maybe the warlock will live for a little bit longer. We want one more soul shard. We need one more soul shard. Full set of dots. Okay, we actually have everything. Hold on. Big damage, maybe? He died before we could finish it. That has been my biggest problem. We actually had all the procs. We had the full haze buffs, everything going, and then the Deathbolt just couldn't connect fast enough. But what we're trying to do is get, of course, every single dot that we have with Siphon Left included. So we're trying to put all the dots, EOA, try to put our Agony, Corruption, hopefully get a, together with a Phantom Singularity. And we want to empower all these dots together with Rapid Contagion, because it just gives a lot more value to our dots, which of course is going to make Deathbolt hit harder. With all these dots combined, popping off together with Dark Soul instability, hopefully next time I'll include the Berserker Racial, extending our dots together with Summon Dark Lair, it should, on paper, be pretty good damage. But executing it takes such a long time. The ramp is not even funny. It's actually kind of disgusting just how much I have to ramp up. I've been trying to get the biggest payoff. I've gotten a couple of bursts. I'm going to try to do it here, but if anything, I have some clips for you guys to see. And as you can see, sometimes you get games like this where, well, the Horde just kind of walks all over Alliance. Then there's games where Alliance walks over Horde completely, and there's very, very little you can do about it unless your team has, like, you know, some kind of a setup, backup, anything. The Hunter may be a target, maybe potentially a target. Looks like he might be. Actual target. Big damage into a 17k Deathbolt, which didn't crit. One of my better Deathbolts, but still didn't crit, which is a little bit sad. So this is what a Shadowbolt hit would look like. A 9k, which is a solid little hit. A solid little 9k punch at the rogue, which is a bit of that burst damage that Affliction warlocks I feel like just normally don't have. Oh, I'm gonna die unless no interrupt. No interrupt. Beautiful. We're looking pretty healthy for at least a moment longer, and we have quite a lot of targets actually. Wait, if we could just dot someone else up, pressure our dots to tick faster, maybe they'll send us a bunch of procs. We do have a potential burst available with a Deathbolt into a Shadowbolt. He removed all the dots at the last second, so the Deathbolt hit him for 2. That is the biggest problem with this build, is whenever enemies are just removing all of your damage over time effects or are preventing you from bursting, that is the biggest problem of playing Affliction. The idea behind this burst is fairly easy on paper. You put up all the dots on the enemy target until you get 5 soul shards. Almost wanted to say 5 common points. With 5 soul shards, you Rapid Contagion all of your dots to empower them even further and make sure they're fully refreshed. Once you gain 3 soul shards, then you're able to go in for full burst, pop in every single haze buff available, Dark Lair to extend your dots, as well as into a full Deathbolt, and if you're Necrolord, you can go for a Shadowbolt if you want to. Sounds really, really easy on paper, but in practice, I've collected hours of footage of just not being able to either get the numbers I was satisfied with or simply just being shut down as I'm ramping up. For a spec that's all about dot management, that means once those dots are stripped off and your whole point is to burst the enemy down, not to rot them down, it becomes a lot harder to really make any kind of pressure happen. It's a really wacky, cheesy build that I wanted to try, but after the hours and hours of footage, I almost thought of giving up for a second. One thing I do love about Warlock, as hard as it is to line this burst up, is the cheesy fleshcraft with 32,000 absorb, with 71, well, this is a buff that is given from my pet for sacrifice, but 57,000 health, 32,000 absorb. I am looking like a 80,000 health meatball, a 80,000 health green meatball. Nothing healthy here. Definitely everything that is could be really bad. Let's make a retreat, a backup plan. We'll just start with putting agony on as many things as we can. Maybe a couple corruptions here and there. Just trying to get some basic buffs rolling. Might be focusing on the paladin here in a bit. We can get the full burst and everything to just follow up. Nice, good procs. Big damage. Bam. Oh, there it was. There it was. Wow. And that could be so much better damage-wise. Of course, not a one-shot, but could be much better. That was an improvement of everything that I've been able to do so far. And I think I kind of figured out more or less the strategy of how I would want to do this. With how much commitment and time that it takes to build this up, it's really difficult to really commit much time. If I had a proc Decimating Bolt being powered by Shadowbolt by 198. Now I want to pop somebody with a Shadowbolt. Can we do that real quickly? Right here. Can you just, real quick. Bah. 6k? There's no way. That hit him for 11k. Yo, an 11k Shadowbolt following a 27, whatever that was, Deathbolt, I think is a fantastic number. So we'll just play this BG out for now. Just have some fun, maybe get like a proc or two more, but I did it. We did it live. I am happy about it. That's all I wanted, and now I can go to sleep happy, if anything. But Warlocks have gotten buffed too. I really like the buffs too, and it was actually surprising buffs to Siphon Life. Corruption, Agony got buffed, Siphon Life got buffed, so you could play maybe like a very dot heavy build of Warlock. A lot of Warlock damage comes from Grimoire Sacrifice, which is also weird. It just procs often from your dots. It does really solid damage. I just don't really know if it's worth it by itself. Wait, we could actually have a big go here. Wait, yeah, big go. Huge. Into Deathbolt. Oh, that's a nice little burst. Imagine if everything there crit. I feel like nothing crit just now. I didn't have the biggest Shadowbolt either. But what did we hit for? Deathbolt for 19k non-crit. Critical of only 6k Shadowbolt, which is a very unfortunate number because normally I would imagine it'd be a lot higher. But yeah, that's a pretty good number. Big damage. Into actual one-shot. Well, pretty close to a one-shot if I had to guess. How hard did we hit that guy? That was actually a lot of damage together. It was a Deathbolt for what looked like a 9k crit Shadowbolt, Deathbolt for 14k. I probably missed somewhere in my setup for a little bit more damage to get that 29 raw hit, but it's okay. You gotta start somewhere. Would I recommend any of you to try this? Only if you're a geared Warlock, and even then, I don't even know if the numbers are worth. This is fun to try to see and test the limits of Deathbolt, to try to replicate something that we saw in a clip, and this is my best attempt. It is far from perfect. I finally got a number of crit with Deathbolt that I was mildly satisfied by, and mostly because it would follow, if properly lined up, a Shadowbolt afterwards to get as close to a big bulk of damage at once. I am glad that Affliction Warlock did get buffed though. This spec was a ton of fun to play in PvP. The raw damage is actually insane, and maybe this is something I'll play in my free time. But let me know what you guys thought about this burst. Do you think there's other bursts I should check out? Let me know all that. If you have any ideas for me in the comments below or on Discord. Link down below as well. I play one of every class, so I'd be down to try anything out. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you in another video.